I am Curran Bhatia, joined by Franchon Crews-Dezurn.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that you just took on Alejandra Jimenez in your last fight, right?
Yeah.
And when that fight was first made, what did you know about Jimenez? Because she had actually fought as high as heavyweight, and I looked it up. At one point, she fought at over 235 pounds, and she was coming down to your weight class of 168. So were you aware of that? Was that a concern at all?
Well, I was very aware. I'm a student of the game, and anybody that I fight, I do my homework. I keep my ear to the street. And the fight was originally scheduled for September, but the day before we were to weigh in, she pulled out. So, you know, my antennas went up when they made the fight, period. Like I said, I've been around a very long time. I'm familiar with weight loss and all these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the weight and the skill wasn't a concern for me because I fought as heavy. I've been in light heavyweight and won titles at that weight. So my power can carry over.
Now, first of all, before we even get into the fight, I need to ask you about your ring walk, because this was of epic proportions, right? So how did this come together?
So 2020 is the year of, first of all, starting a new decade, and it's the year of clear vision. And after my last fight, when I became a unified world champion, I said, I'm going to walk into my excellence. And I only started boxing because I wanted to be a singer. So this was my moment to be like the superstar that I am, that I wanted to be, and also pay homage to like some dope artists from Texas. I wanted to show San Antonio, Texas that, you know, thank you for welcoming me. I'm here to put on a show. So I did an ode to Beyonce, and I wanted to bring some people from where I'm from, which is Baltimore. And, you know, it's a beautiful city, but we have a lot of negative things going on. So I wanted some people from there to experience, you know, my world. And the drummer was from Philly. So that was that B-Hop Philly connect. And he was a street performer. He's really dope. And I saw him when I was in Philly. So I was like, come on. And one of the fun facts, one of the dancers was my husband's sister. So my sister-in-law
There you go.
was dancing with me too.
Yeah. So you come into the ring, you have a lot of confidence, and we start the fight with Jimenez. So here's my question. We know that she's a larger opponent, 5'11". Like we said, she's come down in weight. She used to be a heavyweight. I know that you sized her up probably at the weigh-in and at press conferences, but was it different being in with her in the early rounds?
So, as I said, I did my homework. Seeing her fight at a heavyweight, she had power, but it wasn't devastating power. I hit as hard as a heavyweight. She didn't take a punch. She didn't have like a great chin, even at heavyweight. I saw her when she fought at super middleweight, and she couldn't take a punch like that. And she fought girls who were like souped up, super welterweight. She never fought a true middleweight until she fought me, and she wasn't hurting them. So that was what I had, and that was her last fight was a year ago. So it was kind of a surprise when we got into the first round, well, the first and the second round, because her power wasn't like a woman. It wasn't like a man either. I've sparred plenty of men and practiced with them, but it was just different. That's how I can describe it, very different.
And when you say, so her power wasn't like a man or a woman, what does that mean to you? What do you think was the situation there?
It wasn't, because we have, you know, documented that she did have a type of steroid in her body.
Right.
I will attribute the different to that, because as the fight went on in the later rounds, she slowed down and her punches weren't as hard as they were in the beginning.
Okay.
I could take a punch, but in this fight was the first time I ever was affected by a punch. And that was like, oh, I know me. Hold on, what's going on?
And was it just her power that you noticed, or was it also her ability to take your punches? Because you came out strong in that first and second round.
It was a lot, and I'm pretty sure if you watched the fight, you could see on my face in the corner, I'm like, what is going on? It wasn't a normal fight, and it never was, oh, I'm scared, or I'm going to lose. It was just like, something isn't right. Something isn't right. And yeah, she recovered crazy. Like, I heard her the first round and she almost went out. And by the time I got my hand back, she was charging at me again. So, yeah.
And your trainer in between rounds, we noticed that he was asking you to brawl less, right? To box more, work behind the jab. Was that difficult to do, just given the circumstance of having a large opponent who's kind of swarming you, who's not going away? Was it difficult to try to get your rhythm in terms of boxing instead of brawling?
Well, as I stated, in the second round, I got caught with a very good punch. And I had to be safer for myself. And boxing or trying to box wasn't going to be the best option at that moment. One, because I wasn't 100% there. And two, if she's coming towards me, I'd rather smother her punches than to try to stay on the end of it, because that wasn't working for me until I got myself together.
So we get to the middle rounds. It's a close fight. You're having success, especially in round 5. One thing your trainer said, which I think most likely motivated you, because it was motivational to see it on TV, and he said don't let her walk out with your future. When you heard those words, did that light a fire up under you? Of course
it lit a fire. Like I'm like I said in my press conference, I'm like Cinderella, and everything that I have, I worked extremely hard from the first fight with Clarissa Shields, and coming out with a loss, of course, and I grind, and I would never let anybody take anything from me. So I owe it to myself, the people who supported me, my husband, and people who look up to me just to fight. I'd rather go out on a shield than to go out like a wimp.
I know that you said before the fight you spoke to a little girl who said that you inspire her, and I'm sure that was in your mind in these middle rounds, right?
Yeah. I only almost quit on myself one time, and my husband spoke life into me, and then a year later we were married. But that feeling that I felt at that point, and that was at the Olympic trials, the first one, and I said I'm never going to feel that again. I owe it. I have to give it my all. And
you were doing that in the middle rounds and the late rounds, but we could also tell from your body language, there was a few tumbles where you guys went to the canvas, and it looked like you were, trying to get up and catching your breath a little bit. What was that feeling? Was there a little bit of fatigue setting in for you?
So a lot of people say, oh, you have to be in better shape. I want to explain one thing.
Yeah, please.
So as an elite athlete, Team USA 12 years, competing at an elite level for many years, and not even just boxing, take one of your best athletes. When you train to get something called a second wind. You only get that when you train hard. What we saw with that fight with her, it was one gear the whole time, and then it dropped. That went away. If I wasn't in shape, I wouldn't have been able to finish strong in the last 3 or 4 rounds. Was I fatigued? It was a lot going on. I had to deal with getting a good punch in, somebody swarming me, the thoughts in my mind like, oh, something isn't right. You know what I mean? I had a lot going on, and I was throwing a lot of punches too. So it's like, what could I do? If I would have just been done, of course I'm gonna fall and things happen, but if I would have kept declining even to the end of the fight, that's conditioning. I would give it to myself. I don't care what anybody say. I was in good shape to make it through that fight, take punches, and still give punches.
And not only did you have to deal with your opponent coming at you, but we have to talk about between round 9 and 10. It was the comment. The comment heard around the world. So just take me through from your perspective. What happened there?
So I play it myself. Like usually I have my stuff together, and even my hair is all braided under. But I don't know, because I knew, if things would have went the way it should have, she was supposed to be easy work. Put it that way, with my skill set and everything. I don't know. Usually my husband like, your hair straight, you good? I'm like, yeah. So 9th round, I'm fighting. I'm like, oh shit. Excuse my French, like my hair. So that was another distraction. I felt it like coming loose. And even like the last 10 seconds, I was like, oh my God, this thing that fell off. So I'm sitting in the corner. I'm just like, fix my hair. That's my first thing. I'm a diva. I'm like, fix my hair. Then my coach is like, take that shit off her head. And I'm like, no. But instead of running away from the moment, I embraced it. The thing that really got me through, and I don't want to be a softie because, Valentine's Day is around. My husband looked at me. I looked at him, and he said, it's okay. He patted my head. He's like, it's okay. And having that one person that I know would never betray me, never see anything wrong in me, and just like focus. You could see it on my face. You could see my whole demeanor change. And my coach is like, you want that hair, you want the belt. You want that hair, you want the belt. And not only did I say, fuck the hair, I want the belt, I pointed, I want the belt. Because I knew at the end of the day, people gonna accept me for me. Like, I fought for something, and if I let something like a hair piece or a bra strap breaking or something stupid like that stand in the way of my legacy and my future, then I would never forgive myself. But in that moment, I really became the phoenix, because I was definitely in hell. It was definitely getting hot in that ring, and I still rose to the occasion. So yeah, I mean, it's iconic. I'm a diva. Beyonce fell down steps, got her hair caught in fans, and you know, people forget words. This is what I do, and this is what makes me me.
And speaking of the public reaction, right, it transcended just boxing and sports. And one of the naysayers, we could say, was Snoop Dogg, right? So what happened with Snoop Dogg? What did he post, and how did you react?
He's everywhere right now. And a couple people, even Antonio Tarver, Layla Ali said some negative things. And with Snoop, I'm like, you could joke the situation, but he like called me a derogatory name. And I'm like, I'm just not a regular person. You wouldn't call LeBron James something bad. I'm a world-class athlete, whether my hair had a mishap or not. And, you know, a lot of my fans and supporters like reprimanded him. And so then I reprimanded him myself, and it's like, okay, since my wig got knocked off, look at you boxing. Step into my world. I bet you can't do what I do. And, you know, it went back. Even Oscar De La Hoya joined in. I was like, I'll promote you guys in Vegas. I'm like, make it happen. But, it, you know, any publicity is good publicity.
Right. And
he did take it down. So that shows character. And I would still love to meet him and maybe do some boxing for charity, or let's come together for kids that don't have hair and, you know, do something positive from it, you know?
So have you seen Snoop Dogg on the mitts, and what were your thoughts when you saw him hitting the mitts?
Some people had like inbox, like, look at him boxing. So I found a video and I reposted it too. And I was like, okay, yeah, I will whoop your ass. But
easy work?
Yeah, I would have broke him down. He's got the height on me, but I think I would have like pulled some Tyson and just like broke him down to the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that we've had YouTubers on the zone. Celebrity boxing has always been a thing. So is there a chance that this could actually happen? Would you be willing to participate in that type of fight, you versus Snoop Dogg?
I mean, I would. That would be technically the first male versus a female. But if we don't get in the ring together, I would train him. I'll be like, look, let me show you. I got you, Snoop. I got you. So
you want to extend the olive branch and say, hey, I'll help you work on that form a little bit.
He has great hair. Maybe he could hook me up with some hair care products or something, and I'll teach him some boxing lessons.
There you go. Hey, Snoop Dogg, if you're watching this, the partnership is right there for you. So we get back to the fight. The last round is a hard-fought round, and the bell rings. Now, let me ask you this. We know that you said it was a different experience for you in terms of that type of opponent, but did you think at the end of the fight, before the scorecards were announced, that you had won the fight?
I thought that I did enough to win the fight. I'll be honest. I fought, like, in those situations you black out, you just fight.
Yeah.
And it got to that point. I just had to keep working. I thought I did enough to win the fight. I wouldn't have been disappointed with the draw. Because perception, because she looks like she was the stronger person, like keep coming. But I definitely thought skill, will, determination, I set the tone, and I thought I won the fight.
So scorecards are announced. 1 scorecard for you, 2 for her. What was going through your head when they announced that Jimenez had won the fight?
I just was trying to process. I don't even know, like, leading into the fight, it was a lot. You know, boxing has a lot of politics, and the whole vibe was weird the whole week. And I always prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So when it happened, I wasn't surprised. I was just more, I guess, hurt. Like, yo, like, I work hard. Like, I lost my hair, and I'm out here putting in work and giving the show, and I'm the champion. And the rule and the law is, to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. And I finished stronger than her. So
you felt she didn't do enough to take your belts from you, to beat the champion?
No, she did good in the first round. What she needed a title for was taking punches. Like, she's the champ of taking punches, you know? Now, giving them, no. She had good time, but, you know, January 25th revealed a whole lot. So it gave people a different perception of the fight. When they look back at the fight, they could see, oh, because if this was a fair fight, it would have been over probably in the 6th round.
And so, yeah, we'll talk about the fallout and the aftermath. But right after the fight finished, you were humble. You showed some humility in defeat, no excuses. When did you start to think about the fight and say, hey, wait a minute, I feel like something wasn't right there, and feel like something, was up? Was it days later? Was it weeks?
No, honey, during the fight.
Yeah.
During the fight. During a press conference. Your voice is not going to be deeper than my husband's, bro. Like, things like that. But in the fight, I knew it was like, yo, something is not right. It was a lot of concern on my face. Not more so, of course, concern for my life. It's like, I can't give up because this is my life. But this is weird. Like, it's very weird. And that's the only word I can use to describe, like, different and weird. I've never experienced anything like that.
And so days after the fight, it was revealed that Jimenez did test positive for a performance-enhancing drug. Mm-hmm. Now, she had one test that was clean, then one that the A sample came up dirty, and then another one that was clean. So when you first heard the news, what was going through your head?
So my husband and I were on our way to New York, actually, to the Barclays fight to see Jarrett Hurd and Danny Garcia. And I happened to look at Instagram and I saw, boom, my name. So I'm like, my heart's beating because I'm like, oh, positive test. Franchon, I know I haven't done anything. What the hell is going on? And it showed that she had tested positive. Then maybe 7 minutes later, Golden Boy called me and reiterated what was already posted. And I just like, it was more so like a release. Put it that way, because I know I'm not crazy. I don't know if you've ever experienced anything when you knew something was right, but everybody's saying, you're wrong. And I just was like, oh my God, my husband like, did somebody die? Because the sound that came out, it was just like, ugh, because I said, yo, I put my heart, my soul, everything. And if you're going to take it from me legit. So that was a release and confirmation for some of the things I was feeling. It gave me more hope, put it that way, because I'm a strong believer in energy and the universe, and what's meant for you is going to be for you. So right. I felt like, wow, okay. Wow, I probably get my belts. Like, this is okay. So I just like, wow. And I just sat back and let it play out.
And did you feel vindicated?
I just felt, like, in a sense, I just felt that confirmation came. Like, I knew I wasn't crazy. Something wasn't right in that fight. And I don't care if her second test comes back negative or not. When all three of mine were negative, it was a variable there that shouldn't have been there. And
so they've changed it from a win for her to now a no contest or no decision. That is pending now. February 19th, right, is a big day.
Yes.
So are you counting down until February 19th?
No, I'm staying busy. Like, Big Mama got to eat. I still got to work. The belts, I make the belts. Because as you can see, she has the belts, but I'm still popping. So I still have to continue to invest in myself and move forward, because my life could have ended in the ring due to her being a PED user. But I took it in a humble form and just say, look, you got to live every day to the fullest. So I'm just focused on moving forward.
But do you take that personally, though? Because during the fight, Sergio Mora was on the call, and he actually compared the fight to Cotto Margarito. And when you look back at Cotto Margarito, Cotto takes it very personally, because Margarito, if he cheated, he put Cotto's life at stake, and that's going to affect his family, and he takes that personally. Do you feel the same way?
Of course, and it does. It affects you, like... Like, I'm traumatized. I'll put it that way. Nobody knows that I go through this personally, like, intimately, but my husband. And when they did say that she tested positive, that opened up a whole door and box of other emotions that I had put to the side, because I'm like, okay, shit, I lost the belts now. I just got to re-up how I'm going to, get back to where I need to be. But when that happened, it's just all these emotions I won't prepare for, and all these feelings. Like, it took me a while to even look at the fight, because I saw when I did get hurt and how I was fighting for my life the whole fight. It was big. It wasn't just boxing. Like, I'm fighting for my life, and I'm fighting for my future. And yeah, and then for them to use that analogy, you know what I'm saying? That means something. And I take it personally, very personal, because she planned for this. She did it for like a year, trained, and she knew what she was doing. She when I saw her in Mexico, she tried to intimidate me and disrespect me. So you have an issue with me, like you're low. You would do anything just to get a belt, even put somebody's life at more risk.
And if you were able to speak to her now, what would you say to her now?
Oh, she's been harassing me on Twitter. Like she's real bold, put it that way. And I just think that kind of, she just diminished the line of professionalism. Like even if you knew you tested positive, the right thing to do is, if just like me, when people were attacking her, I didn't say anything. I never said, some of those rumors that were out. But I just remained professional and let the process go on. But for you to call, she told me I had an inferior complex. She told me that she's going to beat me up again and all of these things. And I'm like, sis, you just tested positive for steroids. Like, humble yourself. You got the belts. Why are you mad at me? I didn't pee in the cup. You did. So, if I was the old Franchon, it would be a whole different situation, put it that way. If I was rough around the edges Franchon, it would be a different situation. It would be on site, and that's on period.
So what the situation right now, it's been changed to a no contest. On February 19th, they're going to look at her B sample from the same testing period of the time the A sample tested positive.
Yes.
So a lot will be revealed then, and they're going to decide how to handle it then. But as of right now, in terms of the champion, is she still technically the champion right now at super middleweight?
Well, per WBC, she's provisionally suspended, and the title is vacant. I'm getting different resources are telling me that I am still the WBO champion, because they followed a different protocol. January 29th, they gave her a 10-day notice, an opportunity to explain why did that substance pop up in your system. All I know is boxer, I'm still declared the champion of WBO. So it's progress, and if she's negative on the 19th, then everything, I guess, goes back to how it's supposed to be. If she's positive, then the right thing, I'm making strides into being reinstated.
And would you, in whatever case it happens on February 19th, are you going to be okay with it being a no contest or no decision, or do you want it to be changed to where she should be disqualified from that fight and that should be a win on your record?
I can't answer. I don't know. I'm cool. For me and my mental health, I'd rather just be like, it never happened. I just want things to be how it was before January 10th. I just want it how it was.
And with that said, I know after the fight you said you wanted a rematch. Do you still want a rematch?
Oh, I still want to tap that ass, but I just want to make sure that she's clean. I want the real her. I don't want this super mutant enhanced Jimenez. I want who was supposed to be in the ring, the one I sized up, the one I saw and trained for, not who came January 11th. And
so if, let's say it gets figured out, we run it back, VADA testing is involved, and she's clean all the way through, you would take the rematch then? Oh,
if she comes back negative, yeah, they're gonna have to pay me a lot of money because the trauma, everything I've been through. Right. But it's going to be extensive testing this time, not just a month. I'm talking 8 weeks, 12 weeks, testing, and a lot of more provisions, because even as women's boxing is progressing, we're still at a disparity in a lot of areas. And I feel like with this situation, whether she comes back positive or negative, this is an opportunity to start holding the sanctioning bodies and all the parties affiliated with female boxing, holding them to a standard that we need protection too.
Who else do you want in the super middleweight division? We know Ellen Sederus just upset Alicia Napoleon. Of course, Clarissa Shields is out there. I know you fought her in your debut. Who would you like to fight in boxing right now?
I would love a unification match. One of my goals is to be undisputed. And then down the road, compete against another undisputed person like Clarissa Shields. There are a lot of names out there. Savannah Marshall, she's going up to light heavyweight, and I know she has some aspirations for super middleweight, and we faced each other before. But right now, my goal is just to make it about me. Like Clarissa, I've been fast-tracked for my career. I'm not like a Cecilia Burkes and I'm, have a lot of things catered to me. I basically had to get it the hard way. So once everything is vindicated, because I will get my titles back, I would love like a fight to really hone my craft like I need to. And then we can make strides into to being undisputed and, giving some other girls opportunities too, because we have to build the sport and you can't build it without having talent in those pools. But yeah, secure my bags and get my belts.
And we know that you made your debut against Clarissa, and it was also Clarissa's debut, right? So that's an interesting situation. Do you feel like you're a different fighter now, she's a different fighter now, and if you guys rematch in the near future, that'll be a totally different fight?
Yeah, I mean, we both, like you said, we're different fighters now. We've had different experiences. Me fighting like this last fight and, her with Hannah Gary was being knocked down. Like, I think we're stronger. I think it'll be similar to the first fight, but we wouldn't know who would win. I know I would train to win. I know she would train to win, but it's still going to be electrifying. And I feel like we just going to have to pull out all the stops. That's going to be a seriously iconic fight right there.
And so there's a lot of options out there. Obviously, the February 19th test may reveal some things and change some things. So if you had to give me your best guess, in a few months, you're back in the ring, who is standing across the ring from you, if you had to guess?
I don't know. Esmeralda from like Lower Manhattan or so. Just somebody, I don't know. Like, I live my life the way it comes. I would have to sit with my team and see what works, because like I need to get through this situation. The heavy hitting diva, she's 100% fine. She'll fight anybody, male, female, human, alien, whatever. But Franchon Crews-Dezurn has to make sure it's okay for her.
And just to finally close it out, do you look back at everything you've achieved? You came into boxing, became a world champion. Now, I think from your last fight, even more people are aware of you and your brand, and you've been able to capitalize off of even that moment that we talked about between round 9 and 10. So just to close it out, do you look back at everything that you've achieved and look fondly at what's ahead?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my mom died December 7th, 2016. And that was the time that I was born again, because I said I'm going to live my life so hers wouldn't be in vain. And everything I've been through, from the amateurs through the professionals, it's put me at this moment right here. And I've affirmed all the positivity that's in my life. I know I'm in control of my reality through the higher power. And I know it's going to be lit. Like, I'm going to inspire so many people, and they're going to do the best they can in their lives. I'm here for a reason.
There you have it. Franchon Crews-Dezurn, thank you so much for the time. Thanks for filling us in on the situation, and best of luck to you. Looking forward to seeing you back in there.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.